Hey guys, I wanted to do an update to my Baromagnes deck that I actually used to get top 8 last, Saturday at the SLAYER cards tournament here in Orlando. It was happening at the Ramada Inn, 50-man tournament, cash prize. I barely squeezed in. I made it to top 8. I was X2. I was like 8th place. But top 8 split. So, yeah, let's get on with the profile. It's slightly different. I mean, it's changed since last. It was like the last profile, but 3 Baromagnes. It's just really important that you persona ride at least once for your push / kill on turn 4. It just makes you those really nice numbers of 33, 46, 38. So you really want to max out copies of these. I really wouldn't cut these, in my opinion, at least. I think right there's fine. Yeah. And then for Curtis, he's the best soul charger. He's the best soul charger in your deck. He's free on play soul charge too, and then his other ability, just pump up the front row, is just really nice for your push turns to make those 46, 33, 38k lines. And then I run 4 of Supernatural Extraction. I love this card. This is like the best card in the deck. I always try to use this on turn 3 or 4 if I have it. It gets you whatever you need. You're missing a piece, soul charge piece, you get the soul charge piece. You're missing, let's say, shield, like a perfect guard or an over trigger, you grab the perfect guard to the over trigger. You're missing persona ride even. I've used it to grab persona ride. It's just all around really good card. It's an extender, it's a defensive card, offensive. In my opinion, I wouldn't run any less than 4. Yeah. Leave it like that. And then I run 4 Crimson Expeller. There's actually a few times in the tournament that I used its second ability to give the Vanguard 10k just to push. It's just really good, especially if you didn't persona ride, to make your Vanguard 33 towards like they have to PG or they have to drop like 2 cards anyway. Or 2 high value shield cards. You're going to maximize that card at 4. 4 Selfish Engraver. She's your best counter charger in the deck. There's really no reason not to max out copies of her. The on-hit ability really doesn't go off most of the time. Your opponent will almost never let her hit. And they only let her hit if they already know you're going to get to 15 soul anyway, so it doesn't matter. So they're just like, oh, okay, you're already there, so it doesn't matter if this hits. And they'll just try and hope you deck out. But you mainly just use her to countercharge. It's really helpful on turns that you want to use Supernatural Extraction and Curtis's abilities, or you use Supernatural Extraction and let's say you use this card, which I play at 3, Electro-Spartan. I put Electro-Spartan back in the deck because the card that I was running 4 copies of at the time, before I reorganized the list, was, what was her name? I don't remember the names. I'm really bad with names. But it's the grade 1 that push the soul if you have 5 or more when it boosts. Counterblast 1, give the front row 5k. Because it was just a cheaper Curtis. And I was really trying to do a combo where I get 10k to the front row, or if I push her 20k to the front row. But it slowed down my deck a little bit, or I had to use more resources to get to 15. So I put back Electro-Spartan at 3 copies. That's the maximum you can play him since he's part of your ride deck. But I put him back just so I don't have to use as many resources to get to 15. And then for the last grade 2, I run 1 Cleave Muddler. He actually came up a bunch of times in that tournament where there was a point where I didn't have Selfish Engraver. I did need to use that to countercharge, and most of the time you're just throwing away extra copies of Supernatural Extraction, your draw triggers, and either this grade 2 or that grade 2, because there's a point that you don't want to call these because they're going to soul charge. They're going to soul charge and just deck you out faster, so you just want to use your Sonicers to attack, or you want to use extra You want to use your Sonicers, or you want to use your Selfish Engravers for attackers. So I ran it at 1. There was times, in the later rounds of the tournament, I realized my deck had slowed down. Usually I was getting to 15 by turn 3, and it was either round 3 or 4 that my deck kind of slowed down on me, you know, and that I drew this multiple times, and I was kind of wishing that it was a Soul Charge card, like any Soul Charge card, to be honest with you. But there was times that it came in clutch, and there was times that I just pitched it for Ride, or I just really didn't need it and I pitched it for Supernatural. But I would definitely change this for that grade 1, most likely. That grade 1, or maybe Brother Souls. Nah, not really. I don't really like Brother Souls. That's the one thing about my list. My list doesn't run Brother Souls because I feel like you can get to 15 consistently without that card, just because you already run so many cards without shield. Why? Oh, like, you know, it's cool that you get to your combo consistently, but you also have to defend yourself so you don't die, because the first time you do your combo, you're not going to kill them. You're going to kill them the second or third time you do your combo. But anyways, and the last is Deep Sonicer. A lot of people are running Deep Sonicer at 2 copies in the main deck. I just feel like it's super important you max them out at 3 copies, especially since every deck has like a little bit of sprinkle, has a little sprinkle of retire or removal. He's your main attacker for your whole Baromagnes 15 soul combo, so it's just really important that you have multiple copies of him. Even today in the tournament, there was moments that I won the match anyway, but there was moments that I didn't have another Deep Sonicer. I had to call out a Baromagnes instead. So it's just crucial that you max this card out, at least until set 3 comes out. Then you'd have a little bit more flexibility with your powerful attackers. Then 4 PGs, nothing to explain here really. 1 over trigger. This I guess I can explain. I noticed that some people are running the Cray Elemental over trigger, but this one is, it just has so much value in this deck, especially if they say no guard. You have a crit for the rest of the game, or if you hit this early. There was a couple times in the tournament that I did hit this early, and it was just so much pressure. Like, I exuded so much pressure. Like, one of my opponents, he won to pass my Vanguard. No, he didn't want to pass my Vanguard. I attacked with a rear guard first. He had a trigger, and then I attacked with a Vanguard. And then I got the over trigger. My Vanguard, I gave it the 10k and a crit from the over trigger's ability, and then the 100 million to a rear guard. So technically, it's already doing what the quote unquote the Cray Elemental over trigger is supposed to do. So you're just breaking guard. You could already break guard with the 10k and a crit, and then you're giving the 100 million for just an extra push of damage. So in my opinion, it's just the better over trigger to run in this deck for now, at least. Then on to the triggers themselves. 4 heal. Nothing much to say about that. I am maximizing the amount of crits. Running 8 crit is just really crucial that you get your opponent to 5 damage as soon as possible, so they can't take one of your big meaty hits. So that's why I'm just maxing out on the critical triggers, because you can only play 8. So, and then 3 draw triggers. Now, I know originally I said like draw triggers, at least in my opinion, are the worst trigger in the game, but I started running, I wouldn't run any more than 3 in this list just because you have the propensity to deck out. Like 3 is already, not too much, but 3 is enough because the over trigger draws you a card as well, so it's like you're playing 4 draw triggers. But the only reason I'm playing draws is that it turns 1 card into 2 cards, and it doesn't even matter if that card is in a combo piece, just because on your first grade 3 ride alone, you have to discard 1 for your ride, and then put 1 into your soul, and then if you're using Supernatural Extraction, that's another card you have to discard on top of that. So you're discarding 3 cards. You're getting 1 back, but you're getting 2 back technically. You're discarding 3 cards. So it just works out better in this deck that you get to, it either turns into an extra piece that you need, or it just turns into any other card in your deck, and you could use this to discard and you can keep the other card, or vice versa. So that's the reason that I was playing the 3 draw triggers, and it actually worked out for me. In the tournament, I guess I'll do a quick tournament report. In the tournament, my first round was against Bruce, one of my teammates and friends actually. He doesn't really play Overdress. He doesn't really have an Overdress deck right now. He's more of a V Premium fan. He actually top 2 the other day at the V Premium event that they were hosting. But he was playing Bruce. One of my friends lent him his Bruce deck. The first round was like really kind of grindy because he healed 3 times, but I was still able to just kill him out with the combo, the 5 attack combo, just sucking up his board every turn. And in the second game, I checked the over trigger and then a critical trigger, put him to 5. He didn't heal, so next turn I just steamrolled him. Round 2, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Round 2 was the LORONERL. That's where I over-triggered him. That was also a 2-0. And then round 3 was Bruce, I believe. Another Bruce deck. That one was 2-1. The second game, my drive check was like 2 grade 3s. So she was able to just hit me on the crackback. I really didn't have any defensive against them. She only made 3 attacks, but I really didn't have any defensives to guard against those 3 attacks. I think I won to pass the Vanguard. She got like a critter front. I don't remember. But then like game 3, what did I go first or second? I don't remember. But game 3 I was able to win it out. Round 4 I faced another LORONERL. Yeah, the last 3 rounds were LORONERL, the cat girls. Round 4 was I played LORONERL. He 2-0'd me. No, it was 1-2. He won the first one. The second one I won, I believe, or vice versa. I think I decked out on the first one. No, I was close to deck out, but I didn't deck out. I think he just killed me. And then the third one, I would push him for damage. I would do my standard like poke attack plays in the early game, and then. But he healed like 3 times. He healed 3. Like, it wasn't the heal that killed me, the last heal that killed me. It was the fact that he got a trigger that killed me on his last turn. But he healed 3 times, so he wasn't really using cards in hand to guard because he was healing so much. He was just eating damage for free, essentially. So I really didn't have a way of killing him in that game. So he was able to just out-advantage me and grind me out and win. And then round 5, I faced another LORONERL, another one of my buddies I haven't seen in a long time, actually. Super chill. First game, I believe I won. Yeah, I won the first game. I went first. And then second game, he went first. And I was able to. Oh, my deck really didn't want to work. But, like, I forced it. I forced the 15 on grade 3, I believe. Yeah. I was able to push, and then on my 4th turn, I was able to Persona Ride and just hit him with those really nasty numbers of 46, 46, 38, 38, 38. And then the 6th and final round, I faced another LORONERL. That one, I got O2'd. He clapped my cheeks. There was nothing I could do. The first match, the game that we played, my deck, again, didn't want to cooperate. It was being, like, super slow. I couldn't get it until turn 4. And against the LORONERL deck, it's kind of like Bruce, where they don't really get into I'm going to kill you range until turn 4. So you have to be faster than them. You have to be the aggressor. But I just really didn't get that opportunity in the first game. Or when I did, he was able to just kill me on turn 4 because my hand really wasn't all that sexy in terms of guard. And then game 2, I was able to, again, deck didn't want to work, but I forced it. I made it work, baby. I made the 15 on first grade 3. I did an excellent push turn. And then I believe I Persona Rode and did the same thing on 4th turn. But he had 3, like, I swung with the 46, 46, 33, 38, 38. But for my last 3 attacks, he just had 3 PGs in hand. And I believe he was at 3 or 4 damage, so he was able to eat 1 or 2 of the attacks. And I was just like, no, he was at 4. He only ate 1 of the attacks because I think he healed or over-triggered the turn prior. But I was like, oh, man, I would have won if he didn't have 3 PGs in hand. Literally, and he said it too, like, damn, bro, like, you literally would have won if you didn't have 3 PGs in hand. And the thing is, I could have won on the crackback if I could have survived his next turn, because he had to use all his pieces to guard. And oh, his Vanguard was so weak. It was only 23, and it's like he persona it was only 23, and his lines was like 21 and 20, like 18 or 23, something like that. I don't even remember, did he persona right or not? Something like that. But those were his line numbers, and he was swinging with like 3 crit on the Vanguard. But I just didn't, because I had to use everything to get the 15. It's so I didn't have shield, man. I didn't have guard of any kind. I had to give his Vanguard the 1 to pass. He checked the crit, and that's it. That was the end of the game. That was the end of the match. So I finished 2-0. No, I finished X2, won 4 of my matches, and I lost 2. I was able to squeeze into top 4 with my buddy. He was playing Clarissa. He was also X2. We were like, it was funny because as soon as I lost my match, I went to his match and I was like, you gotta win. You gotta win. And then he didn't win because he kept 2 to passing his opponent, and his opponent kept breaking the 2 to pass. It was so funny. But top 8 was... he was 7th place, I was 8th place. There was like 2 other Bruces, Baromagneses. One was like 1st place, and then the other one was like somewhere in the middle. And if I just said play it out, I would face the 1st place player that was also Baromagnes. And oh my god, the matchup is literally such a variance coin toss feeling type of game. I really didn't trust that I was able to beat 1 mirror, let alone 2, because it's literally who draws better, or who sacks better, essentially. Who gets the combo first, who draws better pieces is essentially the matchup. And I really didn't want to play it, so like essentially I wanted to play it out until the end. I wanted to see how far I go, but mirror matches is the only matchup I'm not comfortable with. Put any other deck in front of this deck, and like I'll play and I'll have a good chance of winning. But the mirror match, oh my goodness, that's literally it. It's literally 50. It's like literally like 50-50. Like it feels like 60-40, but it's 50-50. But like not in a good way. 50-50. It's like 50-50 luck. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe down below. Tell me what you thought about the deck. I am gonna make that one minute change. There's really nothing else I would change in the deck. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see. You want to see more matches of this deck or any other decks that I have that I've showcased on the channel. Yeah, bye.